Hi guys. So for the first part of this project, all you are going to need is a square piece of computer paper, okay, a ruler, and a pencil. Pause the video if you need to go get any of that, and then come back and I'll show you your next steps. Okay. The very first thing that you guys are going to do is you are going to take your ruler and you are going to line it up from corner to corner, just like this, and using one hand to hold down the ruler and one hand with your pencil, you're going to draw a line. You want to try to make sure it's okay if it's a little bit off, like right down here. I accidentally slid my ruler. That is okay. Try to get it as best as possible. You're going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'm going to spin my paper just because it's a little bit easier for me to work like this. And draw a line, so you should have a giant X going from corner to corner. Again, pause the video if you need time to do this part. That is a-okay. The next step, you're going to, I like to put my pencil right in the middle. Hold on. Okay, sorry. So I like to put my pencil right in the middle of the X just so I know that I'm right in the middle. And you want to make this go straight up and down. Try not to like spin it too much. Go as straight up and down as you can. And draw your line. So now you almost have like a star shape. Spin your paper. And do the exact same thing. Go straight up and down. Right in the middle. And if you notice, all of my lines connect right in here, right? They are all right there. There's no like weird cutting, no weird gaps, no lines that are like all the way out here. They need to all try to meet up the best you can right in the middle. All right, so next step, moving on. Let me find an eraser to erase that part that I just drew. Okay. You are officially done with your ruler, so if you would like to pause the video and go put it away, that is fine. Now what we're going to do is the stripes of the cone. So this part helps create the three-dimensional, the 3D optical illusion effect. You need to make one arch. And this is where you can kind of decide where or how many arches you want. I like to just kind of do like 3 or 4, depending on how many I can fit. And I'm going off the paper right here. That is a-okay. And I'm still going to make another one. And it's going to fall off the paper, which is totally fine. Now, you want to make sure that all of these arches are about the same length. So all of them are kind of the same amount apart. Obviously this one isn't because it falls off the page. Don't have any that are like super skinny, super fat, and then thin again. You want to make sure that they are all very nice and even. And all of your arches should be going the same way, going up. I like to spin my paper when I work on stuff like this, just because it's easier for me. But now, right where all of my arches meet, I'm going to make my arches the opposite way. So instead of hills, they're going to look more like a U. Now, right here, we don't really have anything to go off of. So I'm going to come from the edge of the paper and just pretend that there's one right here and one right here, because again, we had that extra one up here. Double check your work by counting and making sure all of your lines are the same amount. So I have 4 lines on this and this. My lines meet up where they're supposed to. And now I'm going to spin. And again, if I'm going really fast, pause the video. So this one, I have 4 spots where it matches up. You might have more or less. And because I just did U's, I want to go back to hills. So I'm going to put a hill. And remember, you're keeping in mind that you want these to all be the same length, especially like in here. So sometimes some of us will start to like droop really far down, and then that looks funny because it's not the same height as these ones, right? So just keep that in mind. That's why we're drawing it in pencil, and this is just our first rough draft, so it is A-okay. I'm going to spin my paper a little bit. My line starts here, so I'm going to make a U because I did hills. And then again, this one fell off, so I'm just going to kind of come around here. And then I still have those corner ones that I'll start like right here. Spinning my paper. So keep going around and making sure that all of your lines, so I still have 4 lines on each triangle here. And then once we get to this part, I'll talk about it, but I'm going to pause the video and finish up my stuff, and then you can do the same. But leave this very last corner or triangle piece empty. Okay, your project should start to look a little something like this. In this last piece, you really need to make sure that you're connecting the correct pieces. So right here's where that last line ended, and right here's that very first line that we made. And there's 2 hills right beside it, so I know I need to make a U. Again, matching. And then again, this one's that funky one that's going to fall off the page, but I still need to match it up to that very last line. And same thing over here, just matching it up. So then you can kind of start to see your paper kind of coming into play. You can see that I did exactly what I said some of us might do, and this one's a little bit taller. Can you see how like these are a different height from that? So I actually might just like take my pencil, kind of redraw part of that. Again, you don't have to do this part, but I'm going to just really quick, just to kind of show you, in case it bothers you, you can fix it yourself. There, and there it starts to look a little bit more normal. Once you get to this part, you're going to do one last thing before you trace it onto your drawing paper. And that is you got to mark out your colors. You want to do this part lightly so that in case you kind of have to erase, you're still able to. But I'm going to kind of scribble in this section. And I'll move up my cone here. So I colored in this section. I'm going to skip this one. Lightly color in this section. Now, coming back down to the middle, because I colored this section, I need to skip this section because it's right by a colored piece. And I'm going to skip, color, skip, color. Moving on, going to spin my paper. This one I skipped, so this one I color. So color, skip, Don't forget these little triangles up here if you have pieces. I already forgot the one right over here. Oops. Colored, so I'm going to skip and color and skip and color, skip. And I'll be back once I'm done, and you can also pause the video and work on it. All right, so this is what mine looks like. When you are done with this, you are ready to move on to the drawing paper, which is going to be in the next video. This is just our rough draft. So I will see you in the next video. Once this part is done and approved by the sub, you can move forward and you will graduate onto drawing paper.